Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah and I'm a UK mum of 3. Today I am showing you my protein ball recipe with a Christmas twist. So I do usually make this recipe quite a lot. If you've watched any of my earlier vlogs, you would have seen that I really enjoy these for breakfast with some Greek yogurt and some berries. But I also like to have them in the fridge for a handy snack. So my children like to have them after school, or sometimes I will grab one in the afternoon just to keep me going a little bit longer. These are so nutritious, and with the amount of protein that's in them, they really do fill me up. So I put all the ingredients into a calorie counter app that I have, and it did work out about 10 grams of protein per ball, but that was without, I think that was without the protein powder, so a little bit more I think. So I'm just gathering all of the ingredients. I like to have everything ready, it just makes it so much quicker. With this recipe, if you have a super duper blender, you can just chuck everything in and whiz it all up. I only have a NutriBullet, so I have to do the oats and the nuts separately. They're the only ingredient that really needs blending. Everything else is powder form or liquid. So you'll see that I blend those separately and then add them to the bowl. Then I add all the other dry ingredients and then finally the wet ingredients. Now I put in the milled flaxseed just to give some extra fibre. So my recipe for the protein balls is really a mixture of all the recipes that I found online. So adding in the protein powder just again gives it that extra bit of protein. I love protein. I find that it just keeps me going. So I do like to just add in that little bit extra. And you'll see that I'm using beef bone broth powder as opposed to a whey powder or a soya protein powder because I'm not really keen on the whey protein, but the bone broth powder there's just nothing else in it, it's just bone broth in powder form, so I love that. But it is quite a savoury taste, so I have to be careful not to put in too much. Obviously if you've got like a chocolate whey protein powder, you could probably put in a little bit more if you wanted to. The recipe is really flexible, so if there's something that you don't like or something that you do like, you could easily add in or take away. I have tried switching the maple syrup for dates and that worked very nicely as well, but I do prefer the maple syrup. I just find it quicker and easier, less blending too. And with the nut butter I use peanut. I just find it's so easy to come across in the supermarket, but you do have to give it a really good mix, I find. So I'm just really emphasising the mixing here because I have made these before without pre-mixing the nut butter and they've been quite sloppy where the oil and the nut butter has separated a bit. So yeah, I always make sure I give it a really good mix now just to get the right consistency for the protein ball. Now this is the fun part. You could definitely get the children involved with this mixing part because it does require using your hands unless you are using a super duper blender food processor. So yeah, get your hands in there just to bind it all together, because you do need to work in the oil a little bit from the butter to bring it together. I don't know how I manage it, but every time I make these, I always make 9 balls. So I somehow just seem to make the same size ball every time. And you can do any size, so you could make them smaller or bigger. I tend to have one at a time, but I think a portion size could be 2. For a child, I'd definitely just give 1. Because I usually have it with other things like the Greek yogurt and the berries, I find 1 is enough, but I have in the past had 2. Sometimes my husband and I, if we are on a bit of a health kick, we'll have these as a pudding in the evening, again with Greek yogurt, just broken up in a bowl, maybe with some raspberries. It's really nice. I can't just stress that enough. They're so good. So normally that would be the end of my protein ball recipe. However, today I am going to melt some chocolate and put it on top with some holly, just to make them look like Christmas puddings. My children haven't seen these yet, but I'm really excited for when they finish school today. They're going to have one and I know they're going to love them. Now, we don't have a microwave at the moment. We're trying to just do without. I have stored it away because I'm too scared to completely get rid of it, but I just keep reading about how bad for you they are, and I just don't know if they are or not. So we thought we'd give it a go of trying to live without. The only time it's been a problem so far is if we want to reheat a dinner, if my husband's had to work late. You know, it's handy just to pop his dinner in the microwave. But yeah, we've made do. We've managed to reheat on the stove. So because I am doing it on the stove, I've taken it off for a moment, because when you're melting chocolate, if it gets too hot, that is when it will go hard and not runny. So yeah, be really careful. You just want to warm it a little bit, then give it a really good stir, warm it a little bit more, stir again, and just keep doing that until you have a nice loose runny consistency. Now these were the only sprinkles I could get hold of for today, so I have had to make do. I thought these were green holly leaves, turns out they're Christmas trees, but I don't think you can tell. I think they've come out okay, and then I just used the little red sprinkles to make the holly berries. But I have since found out that Asda do a holly leaf with a berry as a sprinkle already put together, so you could just put a couple of those on top. It would be so much quicker, so I'm definitely going to look for those next time I make these. I've had so much fun making this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Take care everyone.